Hello, and welcome to the Sittin' and Knitting podcast. I am your hostess, Diana, and today is Friday, January 6th, 2023. Welcome. Thank you very much. If you are a new viewer, thank you for stopping by and checking on me and trying me out. And thank you very much if you're a returning viewer. I appreciate you sticking with me. I haven't been consistent, as you can see through my YouTube videos, and I think I'll talk a little bit about that later on in the episode. This is not going to be a long episode, but if you're just here for knitting content, then I will talk about the knitting content first. Um, this is like season 3 for me, maybe. I podcasted before, maybe back in 2013 for a couple of years, 2014, and I have some videos. I started off as an audio podcaster, and then I have some videos uploaded on YouTube. And then my life changed. I went from a stay at home, I'm talking about it anyway, even though I said I'd leave it toward the end. I went from a stay at home mom to working outside the home, so I had to let go of podcasting for a while. And we speed up when COVID came. I had kind of an opposite reaction of a lot of people, whereas I could not bring myself to knit anymore. And there is a reason, I think now, the more that I think about it, why I stopped knitting during COVID. And maybe I'll share that with you later. But during COVID, I stopped knitting. Uh, I shouldn't say during COVID, around 2020. Um, 2020, and I stopped knitting. And I didn't pick it up again until June of 2022. And I actually thought that I would never pick it up again. I don't know why I had that crazy thought. So I got rid of a lot of my yarn. I only kept some of my most beloved yarn. So I have to build up my stash again, maybe, but I'm taking it a little bit at a time. So after I picked up my knitting again, let's see, I think I picked it up in June. I decided to get back into podcasting because I'm a lonely knitter because I don't have a knitting group or any knitting friends close to me. And I had a small but cozy community of friends that I interacted with through Ravelry, through my Ravelry group, and through YouTube and everything else. And I miss that. So now that I'm knitting again, I just want to share. I just want to communicate. I'm not a expert knitter or anything like that. I'm not designing anything or selling anything. This is just my personal knitting journal. And I actually appreciate it because when I started back knitting in 20, in this past June, I look back at some of my older episodes, and it was really inspiring to me to look back at those older journal entries. So I'm going to try again because I enjoy the community of knitting and I want to journal my progress. For me, for my children, my girls love to watch my knitting podcast. So that's what I'm doing it for. So welcome. This is going to be a very casual and laid back podcast. Um, I probably will only podcast once a month, maybe, and that's because I have made the executive decision to try to be monogamous knitter. I want to be a monogamous knitter because I don't have a lot of time to knit. Like everybody else, I work 40 hours a week. And then in the evening, you're just tired from work and the evenings are short. And I just feel like I don't have maybe a couple of hours a day at the most to knit. And so with just 2 hours, that's not a lot of time to fit in a lot of projects. So I've been thinking some things through, making some tentative plans. I haven't made any resolutions or really any goals. My only knitting goal for 2023 is to knit every day. I want to knit every day. That's what I really want to do. And I've already missed 2 days. I missed the 4th and the 5th. Um, I think, yeah, it was in the middle of the week when I started back to work, just busy days. But I'm going to press on, and hopefully I will knit 363 out of 365 days in 2023. So thank you for joining me on my knitting journey. As I said a couple episodes ago, a lot has changed in the knitting community since the last time I've been actively involved. Um, just with the Ravelry and that redesigning, I didn't know anything about that. So that has changed. And just a lot of, I was off of Instagram too, really. So just a lot of things have changed. And I think when I started back in June to podcast, I was trying to fit in what I thought the new, where this knitting community has developed. I didn't know if I should advertise myself as a biopic knitter. I didn't know if, I just, to fit in with all the other podcasters, I don't have a lot of acquisitions, a lot, and I don't do a lot of hand-dyed yarns. So, I'm just going to be me. I'm just me. I'm Diana, and I love to knit, and I'm happy that my knitting mojo is back. And so I just want to share with you where I am this far. So we'll get started. First segment is called, oh, another thing. This is an unedited podcast. And I will say a goal I hope to accomplish this year is to learn how to edit my podcast a little bit, at least to add pictures in for things that I don't have in my hand. When I first started podcasting, we would just hold up the just hold up the picture um, from the printed out pattern. But now, people put their fancy pictures. I love it. They put words across the screen and all that. I don't know how to do all of that. When I was podcasting before, my then, I think she was 13 or 14, she's 22 now, year old daughter used to do the editing for me. And if you look back at some of those old ones, it was really neat. I mean, it was just on the laptop, but she's lives on her own now. So I told her that she's going to have to come over here and show me. I don't even know what software we used or anything. So I'm just going to do my best, but I really would like to at least learn how to put pictures in. And I'm recording on my iPhone, or excuse me, I'm recording on my laptop for now. And then I think I put it in a video editor or iMovie or something like that. I don't think it's iMovie because this is a Gateway. It's not an Apple laptop. So I put it in there, but I still have not figured out how to add pictures. So I'm sorry. I'm going to try to add links in the description box below. If there's anything that you cannot find, then you can just leave me a comment below or email me. I'll put my email in there. And yeah, just reach out to me. I'm not on Ravelry much. I'm not going to open up the group again just because since everybody doesn't have access to it, I don't want to. And there's, I was doing knit alongs and things like that. And maybe if my community grows, I can do that again. But really right now, I'll just communicate through YouTube. So that's where the most of the communication is. I may because I asked them to take my group down a couple years ago and they didn't. So I may post a link in there, but you all just let me know what you prefer. But I want to, the thing about Ravelry is very disappointing to me as a mother of a child that had seizure disorders. So, okay, let me get started because that was 10 minutes and too long. So, my first segment is going to be what is out of my hands. And I think since the last time I spoke with you all, which may have been September, I just got to be in my bonnet today. I've been wanting to podcast, wanting to podcast, wanting to podcast. And I just never take the time to do it. And a lot of times is when I get off of work in the evening, it's dark and I don't have the natural sunlight. I'm going to see how this works. I got a new light. Um, it seems to illuminate the room more. So I'll see how it's going to work this evening. If not, if you can't really see what I'm showing you or the colors or anything really well, then I'll wait till Saturday. I'm in Northwest Ohio. No, I'm in Southwest Ohio. I was born in Northwest Ohio. I now live in Southwest Ohio, and so it gets dark here at 5:15, and I don't get off of work till 5:30. So I think the last time I podcasted was in September. Since then, I only have one FO. And I went after that September, I went through a time where I was really, and I didn't even bring it up here today, I was working on my Garter Marlar cardigan by Stephen West, and I was loving it. Potato chip knitting, loving, loving, loving it. That was my first time ever doing anything marled, and I was loving it. And then when September came, I started thinking about Christmas gifts, and I spoke about this on my last podcast. And I wanted to make hats for all 6 of my children. So I made one, and they took it before Christmas, before October, I think. And so I was just concentrating on trying to make those hats um, before Christmas for the children. And life just got in, I don't know. So I put my sweater that I was loving to knit, having so much fun, and I said, I'll do this after I get those 6 hats done. Only got 1 hat done. So I'm going to knit what I love. It's not that I didn't love knitting the hats or want to knit the hats for my children, but I think I felt like, since I'm a knitter again, I need to start knitting gifts. And no, I'm just going to knit what I want. And so December, fast forward, another thing I spoke about on my last podcast, I do have some knitting. I wanted an advent calendar, and it was late in the season by that time. And so I ended up getting an advent calendar from Annalena Knitter. I think she's Annalena Knitter on Instagram and Anna Knitter on YouTube. She has a YouTube uh, podcast that is very, very lovely, and she has an Etsy shop. And so I got the Opal Advent calendar from her, which was 25 10-gram skeins of opal sock yarn. I love opal yarn. It's one of my favorites. So, and it was a price point that I could afford at the time. I I didn't really see any of the hand dyed ones, but I don't think I would have been able to do that. So I'm glad with what I got. I'm happy with what I got. I did do some video shorts of me opening my Advent, and so that was like a um, a practice. Me actually recording video and upload, even though it was a minute long video, and uploading it every day. I think I missed 4 days in during the Advent time of uploading, but that was just a practice of getting ready to record and share content again. Okay, so what is out of my hands? The first thing out of my hands, and I think I showed this on the last podcast, I have started a hat for my son, and this was the violet. Let me see. It is. It's called Violet Waffles, and this is all. It's a free pattern off of Ravelry, and it calls for DK weight yarn. I didn't read that, or no, I did read that, and I used Malabrigo Rios, which I thought was a DK weight yarn, but it is actually worsted weight, but that's okay. Oh, I forgot to. Oh, it is on airplane mode. Okay, so let me show you. I finished this hat, and my son lives 2 hours away, and he has not been here yet. The snow was terrible around Christmas time, and so they didn't come down. So he's supposed to come down this weekend and get it. So this is it. It's a Violet Waffles hat. I don't know the designer. I'm sorry, I don't know the designer. I knit this on, I use size 4 for the ribbing, and then I use size 6 for the body. I think this is all that the ribbing is, where you see that line. Yeah. So I wish I had done the ribbing a little longer, but I love Malabrigo Rios. This is one of my favorite hats, or one of my favorite yarns. And if you want to know the colorway, I just leave me a comment below, because I have it on the tag behind me, but I don't have it with me. I think it's like blue jeans or something. It's on my Ravelry page. I do have a Ravelry page for this. So I started it in September and I finished it Christmas Eve. I wasn't working on it that much, especially when December came, because I was working on my whip that I'm getting ready to show you. But this is it. I guess it's a little slouchy. I got a ponytail. It's a little big, but my son has a kind of large head and he has braids. So I think this will fit him just fine. Um, I it's been a while since I've used superwash yarn, because I did finish, when I first started knitting again in June, I picked up a wool sweater that I hadn't worked on for 2 years. I showed that in the previous episode, and finished that. And so I was just surprised at how this behaved. It did stretch out a lot. Um, so next time I do it, because I have another ball. This took a whole ball of the Malabrigo, not a whole ball, but almost a whole ball. I should have weighed it, and I will weigh it next time. If I do it again, I will probably do it on 4s and 5s. Yes, I'll probably do it on 4s and 5s if I do it again with worsted weight yarn. But it's a really simple, mindless. I really like this pattern. It's like enough to keep you interested, but it's like it's free. So I think it's 2 rows of knit plain, and then 2 rows of knit 2 purl 2, or something like that. I have it right here, but I don't want to look away. So yes, I love, 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 love it. Love it. And this is my top. So yeah, finish object, yay! So that is the Violet Waffle Shawl. And that's my only FO for now. And I may not have very many FOs, since I'm going to try to be monogamous. And so my next work in progress is the Winter Magical Shawl by Her name is Lisa, and she has the Fiber Nymph Dye Works. Lisa Cannon from Fiber Nymph Dye Works. So this is the Winter Magical Shawl. Is it in? Yeah. You see that pretty good. So I'm using my Opal Minis. I am working on day 18 right now. So it's only written for 24 days. So I only have, 2, 4, 6 more to go. And here it is. Let's see. This is the right side. I think this is the right side. Winter Magical Shawl. I am loving working on this. I will say I'm not a rainbow person. I'm not a multicolored person. That's usually not my jam. Multicolors and rainbows. But this was fun. This was fun to open the advents. Of course, I couldn't keep up with it, but just seeing the different colors, seeing the different yarns, and then if I see some I really like, I said, I'm glad I recorded the labels so I can try to find them again. But this is going to be really, really nice. I'm knitting this on size 4. It calls for you to use 2 different needles on the side. So I got my, oh, I forgot to bring up my new needles. So I'm using my signatures on one side. And I want to say about these, unpopular opinion, I really, really, really love these, but I don't like that they're dark colored, because if you have dark colored yarn, it's just hard to see for me. So that's my complaint about the signatures. Other than that, I love them. And then last month, was it December? It had to be December. I went to my local yarn store and got the Addi square interchangeable set. So I like these pretty well. I don't feel any problems with the texture here. I like them. The only thing I will say is I think I bend them. I bend them a little bit because I hold them so tight, but I can bend them back out. I wish it came with more cords. And also these they're Addi clicks. And I thought I had them up here so I could show you the set. I'm sorry I don't. But see this right here? They say this is so you can open this up and put waste yarn in there, or put yarn in there. So I guess when you knit through, it'll knit waste yarn through there. Like threading, the other needles. But this is really, really hard to open. I don't understand that technology. I don't understand that at all. I'll probably, if I need waste yarn, I'll probably thread a needle. But we'll see. It's just hard to open. It's a little, but I love Addis. I love Addis. So, I cannot wait to finish this, and I'm going to wear it all the time. One of my favorite podcasters is Lisa. She has the Knit All the Yarn podcast, and she's 72 Stitches on Instagram. 72 Stitches on Instagram. And it's the Knit All the Yarn podcast. I think I talked about her before, but she has a Stephen West shawl that she wears like every podcast, or a Stephen West sweater that she loves so much. Just a big epic knit. And I was like, that's so cozy. I cannot wait to finish this and block this, friends. And I will wear it all the time. I'm not a shawl wearer. I usually don't knit shawls, but I wanted to do an Advent project, and I didn't want to do socks yet. We'll talk about socks later. If you've been with me before, I have a love-hate relationship with sock knitting. Hate to say hate knitting at the same time, but I don't really hate it, but it's just a figure of speech. So anyway, I am in love with this. So I knit on I've been knitting on this exclusively since December. On Christmas Eve, I took some time to finish the hat, but the hat was mostly done before December. But since December, that's all I've been knitting on. And I only missed a couple of days of knitting in December too. So I feel like I'm a slow knitter, but I don't care. I'm just so happy I'm knitting. At first I thought I should be getting more things done. I should be getting more things done. But I'm just happy I'm knitting again. I'm happy I'm wanting to knit again. I'm just feeling like it'll all come together. It'll all come together again. So I'm okay. I'm okay with that. I do have two other projects that, even though I want to be a monogamous knitter, I do have two other projects that I'm going to have waiting in the wings. So this segment would be, well, my works in progress was in my hands. And I forget I forget the names of my segments. I'm sorry. But this is my what I'm going to be knitting next. Oh, excuse me for all of my blunders. So, I'm going to hopefully start trying to get I still want to knit the hats. I'm still giving this one to my son this year. I mean, for 2022 Christmas. Because I think for me, I know a lot of people start knitting gifts early. When I have something done, I'm so excited about it. Just the thought of putting it away for months and months and months. And we don't know if we'll be here. I don't know. I know it's a good theory and thought, but once I get something done, I just want to give it away to the person. But since if I do these in the summertime, then that might help me to hang on to them. But then knowing me, they'll come over September, October, and I'm like, oh, baby, your head's cold. And I'll pull out their Christmas gift or something like that. I hope I don't do that. So I have another hat. I'm going to do another Violet Waffles hat because I love the pattern. And this time I'm using DK weight yarn. And this is Expression Fiber Arts. I don't know if I feel like I talked to you about this before. Expression Fiber Arts Lupine Love. I need a new ball winder. My ball winder's kind of messy. So this is it, Lupine Love. And I went to an appointment and I started casting on, but I haven't finished casting on yet. So that is my next work in progress. I am using, what size needles? Let me see. Oh, I hate to. Oh, I just saw something that reminded me of something I have to talk to you about that I failed at. These are, okay, 4, 5? These don't look like a 5. Yeah, it says 3.75 millimeter. Is that a US 5? It says it's a US 5. I don't know if you can see that, but I don't know. That might be too big. If I did, I don't know why I have 5s. I don't want to use 5s for this, but this says 3.5 millimeter. This says US 4. I probably thought this was a 3. I'm sure I thought this was a 3. I'm glad I checked it. But that just looks, I'm going to check it on another one because that looks too small to be a 5. It does. Let's see. Yeah, it looks too, because here's one. This is a 4. I have my needles just sitting right here. Yeah, this must be a 3. I don't think that this needle gauge, this isn't the one I normally use. So I don't think this is any. I think I got this, it says Lion Brand several years ago, but I'm not believing it. So I'm going to knit it on a size 3 for the ribbing and a size 4 for the body, and hope that that will work, because I made another hat that I remember I made it, I talked about it on my last podcast, out of Cascade 220. No, I made it out of Malabrigo held double, fingering held double sew, and it came out too small. I'm sorry for thinking out loud, but this is my next project, and so I just want to have it cast on, and I want to work on it, because I got 6 more of these. Of course, my son is going to get another one next year because I can't just, so he's going to get 2 in a row. But after I finish this shawl, which I hope I get like 2 to 3 more done this weekend. I'm so excited to knit this weekend, but I got to take down my Christmas tree. I'm going to exclusively, my main project, my monogamous project will be that Garter Marler cardigan that I loved so much. And then, like, when I have to go somewhere or anything like that, I can take this and one other project I'm getting ready to show you. This shawl is pretty easy to carry around because I'm just using, oh, I wanted to show you this too. This is day 18, beautiful yarn. And I messed up the other day. I have so much to talk about. My first Zoom knit night, I said I wanted a community, and I took the plunge and tried the Love and Stitches. Natalie Nitty Natty of the Love and Stitches podcast. She has a knitting community, and you can join every quarter, and she has different events and things like that. Since I want to be more social, I joined that, and it seems so fun. Right now, by the time you see this, the membership will be closed because it closes on the 6th. So, and I won't have this up before midnight. But anyway, so I went to my first knit night and I messed up for not the first time. I have a couple of drop stitches in here, and I'm not good at picking up stitches and garter stitch. So they kind of look wonky, but this is my love. This is my lovey. So I don't care. I know it's a couple mistakes in it, but it just shows to me that I started knitting again and I completed something. So some of the rows are garter stitch, and some of them are some of the sections are garter stitch, and some of them are stockinette. So like every color you're supposed to change. So when I started this color, you wouldn't even know unless I tell you. So I was actually supposed to, oh, it does look bad. No, it doesn't. I was supposed to start with the stockinette stitch row, but I did like 2 rows of garter stitch before I realized wasn't purling. So I said, well, just make it all garter stitch. And no, I didn't want to make it all garter because see, it goes, stocking, garter, stocking, garter. So I didn't want 2 on top. And so I just I just started doing the stockinette stitch, but it's like, it's probably 4 rows or 2 rows less than what I was supposed to do. See, can you see that right there? I started to rip it out because see where this green is? 2 garter rows, I believe, are 4 rows of knitting. So I started to rip it out, and go back. But it's a lot of stitches on this little section. I don't know how many it is, but I said no. So that's just going to be a design element. Now, I'm just so happy to get it done. And sometimes I can be a perfectionist about some things, but I'm not going back and fixing that. It'll be okay. I think it'll still be nice. There was a couple thin spots in the yarn where I tried to fix it with my crochet hook. It wasn't really the opal, it was how I was knitting, I believe. So I'm just hoping that once I wash it and lay it out, that it comes out fine and I don't have any holes or it looks terrible. I mean, I couldn't put it in a fair to get a ribbon because if anybody was looking closely, but I love it. So that's all that matters. All righty. My next in the wings project is socks. I want to knit socks. I have knit several pair of socks, as my Ravelry page will tell me. I only know where one pair is, and that's my opal pair. I don't know where any of the rest of the socks are that I knit. I know I gave a couple away. I know I washed some wrong and they felted. And I know some of them didn't fit right. I've probably made about six or so pair of socks in my knitting career. I've been knitting for 18 years. If you want to know how I learned to knit, it's in previous episodes or put it down below and I will tell you. I feel like I say it every podcast, so I don't want to keep saying it and you all really don't want to keep hearing it, but I've been knitting for 18 years. So, um, I really, 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 really want a sock drawer. So I'm going to start again. I'm going to try again. And this time I'm going to start with DK weight socks. And also the heel has really, I usually knit a heel flap and gusset, but I really don't like picking up and uh, I really don't like picking up from the gusset and decreasing back down. I just don't like, I don't know. It's just my least favorite part of sock knitting. So I have been looking, I have been looking at not tons, but lots of videos, which I think are comprehensive and good about the shadow wrap heel. Because I know I looked at and printed out, I've had the Fish Lips Kiss heel for years and years and years. But she well, when she first came out with it, she just had the picture tutorials. Now I think she does have a video, and I don't know. Yeah, I the third, I don't know. It's just not for me right now. Again, I'm going to try the shadow wrap heel first, which I know is very close to fish kiss, Fish Lips Kiss heel. So, and Earth Tone Girls has a good tutorial on it. And there's a couple of other really good, I think, oh, what's her name? She has something like Chili Dog. Chili Dog. She has a good tutorial too. And another one, if you're interested, I can link it below. So I am excited. I've watched them, and then I feel like I know it in my head. I probably should be a good knitter and make myself a little swatch and practice on that. No. So I treated myself to a haul of Fiber Nymph Dye Works yarn, but I already have it stashed away. That's just some of my stash. I don't have a lot of yarn. I have a couple bags of yarn under me. I don't have a lot of yarn, but I stashed it away. You'll see it as I make projects. But this one is Trick Play #1 in her Bonafide base, which is 100% superwash merino wool, 231 yards, a self-striping 5 stripes. I don't know if you need to see it, or anyway, fiber nymph dye works. So I have it wound, and I hope to start it soon. I'm excited. I don't have any size 3 40-inch needles. I just have uh two circs, two 16-inch circs. And even though I know how to work socks on two circs, I don't think I really want to fool with that. Magic Loop is my jam. I bought, I have lots of double pointed needles. I wanted to learn all of the methods. So I know how to do two circs. I know how to do double point, but just Magic Loop I really, really like it. So I will go to my local yarn store, and what I should do, no, I can't use my Addies because they start at 4. They start at size 4. So I'll probably go and I want to try the Chiago twist. I do have a Chiago twist size 4, but I need size 3. So anyway, these aren't started yet, but they will be started soon. I just wound them today, and that will be my other In the Wings project. And it almost seems like too much to have the hat and the socks. But I will selfishly say the socks might take precedence, because because I don't have a lot of time to knit, and because I love my knitting objects so much, I probably lean towards knitting things for myself. I say that, but at the same time, my children love my knitting too, and they are so knit worthy. So I have a lot of things I want to knit, and there's not a lot of time, so I'm going to do the best that I can with that. I want to show you my bag that I got. I just got this in the mail. Oh, it's washed out. Okay. Isn't that beautiful? It is from Kalisha from Quirky Monday Crafts. I just found her by watching her Vlogmas this year on YouTube. And she hand wrote something on the back, and it made me smile. It was just such a nice words to say. She said, "Thank you for being a part of my universe." And when I read it, I just smiled and thought, I'm glad you're a part of my universe. So this is a very roomy bag. I like the bottom, how she has the bottom, the folded bottom, or whatever you call it, boxed bottom. It came with this grommet handle, and the handle was here, but you could put the handle here or here. She has very cute zipper pulls on here. And this one says "Made with Love." She has a little one with a heart, made with love. And if you watch my earlier podcast from years ago, you will know that I used to teach babies sign language, and I taught my children sign language. And so these have different hues of hands doing different alphabets in sign language. I love it. So this is really, really nice. Thank you, Kalisha. She doesn't watch this, but it's a really good bag, and I'm going to be ordering more. So she has an Etsy shop. I think it's Quirky Monday Crafts on Etsy too. So Quirky Monday Crafts. All right. Well, I wanted to tell you one thing, just in case you've watched my older episodes. I was working on a test knit. For a sweet podcaster, Melinda of Mint Knitwear, and I was testing her Jones sweater. I am a horrible tester, and I did not get past the neck ribbing, because after the neck ribbing, you're supposed to do German short rolls to shape the shoulders and the back. And I could not figure the German short rolls out at all. I could not figure them out. So what I'm going to do is purchase her pattern, because I don't even know if what's in here is right anyway. She could have modified it. I was in the group, you know what I mean, for suggestions and all that, but I think usually when you test a pattern, they will give you the pattern for free. No, because I was a terrible tester and I didn't finish it. One thing though, by watching those shadow wrap heel videos, I like that type of short rowing, and I think I can incorporate it into this sweater. So I would like, when I first started, there was nothing but the wrap and turn, I don't think. And there's really nothing wrong with the wrap and turn, but it can be visible, and they have different. I won't say there was nothing but the wrap and turn. A lot of people, other ones weren't popular, you know what I'm saying? Because knitting has been around for years, and there's probably still different ways and techniques that we don't even know or use often. So I want to incorporate different short rows into this sweater and still do this sweater. I told you I was doing it in the brown and tan. So excited about it because I was going to get some shoes to match it, and I just wanted a big, cozy, comfy sweater. So that puts me in mind that I was going to go to my yarn store and ask them if they could show me the German short row. So I don't know. Maybe I'll take it down there when I go get my needles, but I do want to knit this. So I will probably be knitting this when I get done with the Garter Marler. Probably. We'll see. But if not, of course I'll buy it from her as an apology for me not finishing it. Okay, so I think that's it. I only wanted this to be a 15-minute podcast, but it ended up being longer. And I hope to see you, since I'm only knitting monogamously, I will probably only podcast once a month. I love weekly podcasts. I love when podcasters are consistent. I do. And sometimes if I find a new podcast and I go to their page and I see they only post every few months, it's disappointing. But I understand life. So I hope you stick with me for 2023. Just to inspire community. And yes, I think that's all I have to say for right now. If you have any questions, just reach out to me, and I won't make this a long goodbye. And I will say happy knitting. Knit what you love. Knit what you love. And just thank you for watching. Take care.